Okay, so you might notice a difference here. Before, I didn't have this cross member in here. And what had happened was, while I was welding on all these sidewalls, they kind of fell in a little bit, which might have just been a result of the weight. Because up at the front, they're still square, but back here at the rear, they were tilted in a little over half an inch smaller on the top than it was on the bottom. So what I did was I just measured the bottom and cut out a piece that's the same length as that. And then using my farm jack, but the Badlands farm jack, I just put it on here and just forced this apart, spread it out, and then put this in there and then just released that farm jack. So this piece was squeezed in there, aligned it, and then now I've just welded it on. Eventually I do want to add some sort of side doors up at the front, so that I can have maybe a battery compartment on one side and then like a roll-out fridge compartment on the driver's side. I am building this to be accessible and more usable to the driver's side, because the awning that I got from my buddy over at XY Offroad is a driver's side awning, and so I was planning to make things passenger side, but I couldn't pass up the deal on that awning. It gave me a good price on it, so it's just gonna be driver's side. I mean, what's the difference? You know what I mean? So yeah, so let's get to, I'm gonna finish welding this on, and then we will get to building up the tailgate. It would appear that my blade, this saw blade, is starting to get pretty dulled out. It's starting to just kind of smack its way through. These blades are expensive and they don't last long. I could just use the plasma cutter, but I figured this would make a cleaner cut, and it is making a cleaner cut, but I don't know. These blades just, I mean, they're beating through steel. How good is it going to be? So I'm using these two pieces of sheet metal to act as a standard gap between the top of the tailgate and the frame of the trailer itself, so that it doesn't rub. Okay, so there they are, just lined up on there. Need to tack them in still, but you can kind of see the outline of the tailgate there. So now I'm using these hanger pieces right here as a gap in the middle, or in between, to kind of build a gap there so it doesn't rub. But once we have these tacked together, then we'll need to figure out how we're gonna notch this to clear the edge of the receiver right here. So that's the next step. So I kind of marked where that notch needs to be on the far side, and then at the height that the notch needs to be. And it's actually not that high up, like it's not even halfway up through this. So I think I'll be fine to just literally cut out that notch, and then I'll just plug in that spot. So what I want to do now is make some reference lines. Let me see how far this line is from the edge over here. It'll be right in the middle. It's literally 19 inches. That's awesome. So what I'll do is I'll just go 19 inches from this side. So that's it. That's the notch that I need to make right there. There you go. I'm just gonna leave it as cardboard, you know, should be good. It'll stay. I'm totally joking. This is a template, and I'm gonna cut this template out of a piece of scrap. Okay, so that, got a little bit of slag there, or with plasma cutters it's called dross. So there's that, and then it just needs to go in there. So let's see here. Okay, so after all that struggle, that is exactly how I want that. Look at that. That is pretty good. Took me a little bit of figuring out how to bang that in there, but that's perfect. Look at that. Okay, so that's actually all the time I have for tonight. I still need to kind of clean up the garage a little bit and go in and, you know, do my nightly routine. So we'll get back to this again on the next day.
3 days later.
Okay, there you go. It's kind of hot still. I just got done grinding on down the edges there, but as you can see, there is that notch cut out right there. So now that that's done, I'm just going to cut out another piece to go vertically through the middle here, and that'll go up to the top. Okay, so this is what I'm going to cut out, and you can kind of see the line that I drew on there. Did a lot of little weird measuring stuff to figure this out. So this is just going to be like a little truss that's going to be a bit more aesthetic than it is functional here, but it's going to be for the hinge to kind of just gap between this vertical part of the hinge and the actual like part of the trailer wall, so that there's not just this weird clump sticking up off the wall, because I just don't like the way that looks. Now for the tailgate latch, so I got some shock tabs, and they have a 3/8 inch hole through them, and I have like a quick release pin that's just going to go down through them. So there'll be 2 on the trailer side and 1 on the tailgate side that goes between them, and it'll just click down through, and that's what will hold the tailgate shut. So there it is. The tailgate is done. You can see the hinges. So here's the latch. Pull that pin, and then this opens up, and there's the inside of the trailer. Now, for now, I have a canvas top that's going to go on top of this, and I'm just going to put some wooden slats across it to just kind of give that wooden top a little bit of form and for water runoff and stuff. I am not going to put the roof on this yet because I want to make sure that this goes through a test run and it's the way I like it, and you know, maybe I won't ever put a top on it. But I want to make sure that this is how I want it before I put a top on it and then seal it off. Also, I do want to build a rack. I need to build a rack for it that'll go up for putting like my awning off the side of it, a rooftop tent if I want to put it on there. Whatever I end up doing, I don't know if I'll end up getting a rooftop tent or not. But yeah, so tailgate, and then shut the tailgate. Very loud, all steel, and just gotta kind of wiggle this here. Hold on. There we go. So there it is. And I fixed the lights. I believe that I covered this earlier. It's kind of hard to remember, but what it was that my lights needed their own independent grounds, and the junction box needed to be grounded to the frame of the trailer itself, and then also grounded to the vehicle. And the way that I had it grounded was everything was just running straight to the vehicle. So I believe that it was just, I don't know, too much of a load. So I just grounded all these. You can see that it has its own ground coming off of there, but it's also still grounded to the junction box itself. So it's got 2 points of grounding. And I just grounded all of these lights and plugged it back in, and it worked just fine. So I have the plates. I need to decide on how I want to mount the plates. Probably just going to put them like right here or something like that if I want to get like a mounting bracket so it kind of stands off a little bit. I haven't decided. I might just drill holes in this and then put a couple washers and just stick it on there. So I just need to put the plates on this now and take it for a test drive and watch it all fall apart in my rear view mirror so that the last, 12 months of my work and just goes to waste as I watch it in the mirror and drive down the highway like I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that is one of my agonizing fears, is that as soon as I get on the road, this thing is going to fall apart like Legos. But I don't think it will. I hope it doesn't. I'm not gonna paint it yet, because once again I might want to change something on there or whatever. And I still have a lot of cleanup to do, so taking it out and getting it a little bit of surface rust on there isn't going to be any more detrimental than what I already need to clean up anyways. But I'm not going to paint it yet. I want to wait. I want to decide what I'm going to do, and if it's good the way that it is, and I'm fine with it and I can work with it, then I'll go ahead and paint it. I did paint the underside, so I don't have to worry about dealing with any of that. That's all painted and stuff like that. So that'll be the last video. This will be the last video that I do for building the trailer. So if you've been watching the whole series, thank you. If this is where you're just jumping in, go back to the beginning and skip your way through all the videos and see the highlights. It's just a lot of gluing metal together. Like I said, it's not done, but no project is really ever finished. And I'm fine with that. That's why I like projects. So, thanks for watching.